Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. We are on ayah number 226 of Surah Al-Baqarah. Bihawlillahi wa quwwati. We continue. قال الله تعالى للذين يؤلون من نسائهم تربصوا 4 أشهر فإن فاءوا فإن الله غفور رحيم. So he says للذين, for those who يؤلون, from ala yu'li, ila'an. It simply means to take an oath. Halif. In the marriage context, it means that the husband will take an oath that he will not have conjugal relations with his wife. Now Ibn Abbas radiallahu anh says that this used to be a practice in the Jahiliyyah, that a man would take an oath not to have conjugal relations with his wife, but this could last 1 year or even 2 years. So Allah Jalla wa Ala did not abolish this practice, but rather gave it an upper limit of 4 months. This is why he says tarabbus, meaning waiting, 4 ashhur, 4 months. Then he says فَإِنْ فَاءُوا, so fa'a yafi'u means to return. If they return, meaning to say within that period, if they return to having conjugal relations, then that's all and well. However, if the husband took an oath not to have conjugal relations for a period of more than 4 months, and he has conjugal relations before the 4 months are out, then he would have to offer the kafara for breaking that oath. In fact, it would be the case that he must break that oath and offer the kafara, because the husband is not allowed to go for more than 4 months without having conjugal relations with the wife if the wife demands intimacy. And the reason for this is because the wife certainly has a right to intimacy, and one must live honorably with the wife. And when he says that he is a Ghafur Rahim, then it means he will not punish the husband for any harm caused to the wife within the 4 months, as long as he returns to his wife within the 4 months if the wife demands it. And ayah 227, وَإِنْ عَزَمُوا الطَّلَاقَ فَإِنَّ اللَّهَ سَمِيعٌ عَلِيمٌ. And if they azamu, this means when you are determined to do something or fully resolved to do something. So if they are fully resolved to talaq, now linguistically talaq means to let something loose instead of restricting it. And in the technical sense, it means to let the wife loose from the marriage contract. So that would be a divorce. Then if that's the case, Allah says He is Sami'un Alim, and we said before that these names, Sami'un Alim, are normally as a threat. Compare them to the previous ayah, Ghafur Rahim. That is for clemency. So it is like Allah Jalla wa Ala does not love divorce should take place. So to put this matter of ila simply, it is to say this: the husband takes an oath not to have conjugal relations with the wife. Now this oath either would be 4 months or less, or greater than 4 months. If the oath is for 4 months or less, and he within that time period has intercourse with his wife, then that is fine, and nobody has to do anything. If this oath lasts for more than 4 months, then at the request of the wife, the man is obligated to have conjugal relations with the wife, because that is the right of the wife, and you cannot be oppressing anyone. But if he does do that, he would have to offer the kafara for breaking the oath. Remember, the oath was for more than 4 months. Okay, what about if he does not have conjugal relations within the 4 months? We say in a case like this then, after the 4 months have elapsed, we take the case to the qadi, to the judge, and he will tell the husband either you have conjugal relations with the wife in accordance with her demands, or we will dissolve this marriage because you are clearly not fit to be a husband. And then it will be his choice. He will be forced to pronounce the divorce, or he has conjugal relations. If he refuses to even pronounce the divorce, then the qadi can dissolve the marriage, because you cannot leave the wife in a state of limbo. But as you can probably tell in a case like this, divorce is not a good outcome, because you can easily reconcile and get back together. So divorce is not a desirable outcome. Hence Allah Jalla wa Ala says, Sami'un Alim, He hears and He knows. These names are threats. He's telling us that He does not like this outcome. So reflecting on these two ayatan, we pick up a fiqhi matter of al-ila, which you find in the books of fiqh. It used to exist in the Jahiliyyah, like we said, and Allah Jalla wa Ala adjusted the ruling so that there is no oppression on the woman. We also find that the talaq, the divorce, is in the hands of the husbands. He says, وَإِنْ عَزَمُوا الطَّلَاقِ. Notice the waw al-jama'ah. This is for the male plural. So it refers to the husbands. If the husbands are firmly resolved on the divorce, then Allah is the Sami'un Alim. And we ask the question, is the other way around possible? If the woman takes an oath not to have intercourse with the husband, we say no, the other way around does not take the same ruling. The wife is obligated to give herself to the husband when the husband demands it, as long as there is no harm on the wife. So with the wife it's much more strict. And this is because men's desire is stronger and they can keep patient for only a shorter amount of time. So whereas we can give the husband a delay for 4 months, even if the wife demands it, the other way around is not true. As soon as the husband demands it, the wife needs to give herself if that is not harmful to her. If she had taken an oath not to have intercourse with the husband, she would have to offer the kafara for the oath. Note that offering the kafara for an oath is only applicable to those who are mukallaf, baligh and aqil. As for the ila itself, then even if a person is mumayyaz, meaning reaching the age of tamyiz, having reached the age of tamyiz, then the ila is in effect from such a husband. Because such a person, even if he is not mukallaf, still knows what he is talking about. Ayah 228. وَالْمُطَلَّقَاتُ يَتَرَبَّصْنَ بِأَنفُسِهِنَّ ثَلَاثَةَ قُرُوءٍ وَلَا يَحِلُّ لَهُنَّ أَن يَكْتُمْنَ مَا خَلَقَ اللَّهُ فِي أَرْحَامِهِنَّ إِن كُنَّ يُؤْمِنَّ بِاللَّهِ وَالْيَوْمِ الْآخِرِ وَبُعُولَتُهُنَّ أَحَقُّ بِرَدِّهِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ إِنْ أَرَادُوا إِصْلَاحًا وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ وَلِلرِّجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةٌ وَاللَّهُ عَزِيزٌ حَكِيمٌ. So the key words here, mutallaqat, plural of mutallaqa, that is the woman who is divorced. Yatarabbasna, from tarabbasa, we came across this word in ayah 226. It means to wait or to tarry a while. Bi anfusihinna, with themselves. That is to say, they will keep themselves in wait. For how long? Thalathata quru, 3 quru. Quru is the plural of qar'un. This is a weird word because it has 2 opposite meanings. Qar' can mean the menstrual cycle, and qar' can also mean the period of purity in between the menstrual cycles. One word with 2 opposite meanings. Such words do exist, but we cannot accept both meanings in this ayah because that would lead us to a clear-cut contradiction. So we need to know what is the intended meaning, and to do this we need to look at the narrations and the tafasir. And so we find authentically in the Sunan, the Prophet said about the woman experiencing the istihada, prolonged bleeding, tajlisu ayyama aqra'iki. She sits, meaning does not pray, during the days of her aqra, which is another plural of qar'. So therefore the qar' would refer to the menstrual cycle and not to the purity in between the menstrual cycle. And he says it is not halal for them to conceal what Allah has created in their arham. From rahim means womb. So this means the embryo. Because if they are pregnant, then their waiting period will not be 3 menstrual cycles, rather it will be up till the point when they give birth, whether that's a long time or a short time, regardless. So suppose if they are pregnant and then they have to wait 9 months until they give birth, or even 8 months or 7 months. That is a longer time than 3 menstrual cycles, because you have 1 cycle for each month. But the woman says, oh, she cannot wait for that long, 6, 7, 8, 9 months, that's too long. So she'll conceal the fact that she's pregnant and just wait for the 3 menstrual cycles. And then the waiting period will be over, and she could free herself from the husband. So the ayah is saying no, she's not allowed to do such a thing. If they believe in Allah on the last day, this means if you are true in your belief in Allah on the last day, you will not conceal the embryo in your womb. You will make plain that you are pregnant. So such teachings and orders and prohibitions are testing your iman. And he says, وَبُعُولَتُهُنَّ, bu'ula is the plural of ba'al. Now ba'al linguistically means someone who occupies a higher position than others. Here it refers to the husband because the husband occupies a higher position than the wife as he is in authority. So he says, وَبُعُولَتُهُنَّ أَحَقُّ بِرَدِّهِنَّ, they have more right to take the wives back, فِي ذَلِكَ, in that, meaning in the waiting period. That is the waiting period of the divorce. So here the right is for the husband to take his wife back within the waiting period. As for after the waiting period, then no, he does not have the right to take the wife back. In aradu islaha, if they intend reconciliation. They refers to the husbands, which means if they do not intend to rectify the marriage and make right what was previously wrong, then they should not take them back. It is better to let go in a case like this, because you'll simply be harming the wife in keeping her. And we say that divorce is actually recommended in a case where the wife will be harmed psychologically in keeping with the husband. So in this case, a talaq would actually be an ihsan, doing good to the wife. He says, وَلَهُنَّ, and for them, meaning the wives, mithl, similar, الَّذِي, to that which, عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ, what is upon them of rights, in accordance with customs. This means to say, just as the wife needs to observe the rights of the husband and to treat him well, so too then, the husband must observe the rights of the wife and treat her well. Now reading this, one might say, then therefore the husband and wife are equal, and Allah Jalla wa Ala corrects this mistaken notion by saying, وَلِلرِّجَالِ عَلَيْهِنَّ دَرَجَةً, and men have a grade over them, meaning over the wives. So this is to say that men are physically, emotionally and intellectually stronger than women in general, and likewise the husband has authority over the wife. They do not have equal authority. Just like they say too many chefs spoil the broth, there needs to be one authority. And the superiority of men is reflected in their duties, such as fighting and spending and being the caretakers of women and children, being the breadwinner of the house, also being the public imam, and also being the public judge. All of these are male specific duties. Wallahu Azizun Hakim, these two names have preceded. So reflecting on this ayah, we may take the obligation of the iddah period, even though the order format is not given. Yatarabbasna is a fi'l mudari', a present tense word. However, a present tense verb can be used to denote an order form. In fact, it is more emphatic than an order form. It's as if the matter is done and dusted. We can take that in the woman there could be a strong desire to finish the first relation with the first husband and to marry somebody else. The reason is, he says, يَتَرَبَّصْنَ بِأَنفُسِهِنَّ. He's saying they must wait with themselves, as in to keep themselves back. So hold yourself back for 3 menstrual cycles. It's as if the woman cannot wait to finish the iddah period. From this ayah, we learn that the waiting period is 3 menstrual cycles, and this is a fiqhi point. Now on this point alone there is some detail, because it does not always have to be 3 menstrual cycles, but the discussion is for the fiqh books. Let us steer clear of that. We may also take from the antithesis of this ayah that if the husband leaves the wife without a divorce, then she does not have to wait the 3 quru. For example, it could be a khula, or it could be a marriage dissolution from the qadi. So the thalathatu quru is only for the divorce per se. This is the general rule. We may also take from this ayah that the woman is the one who decides whether her waiting period has ended or not, because Allah Jalla wa Ala puts this into the hands of the woman. He says it is not allowed for them to conceal what is in their wombs. If we did not accept her statement, then there would be no need for Allah to mention that they are not allowed to conceal what is in their wombs. So if the woman says that she has completed the 3 menses, and it is indeed possible for that to happen in that particular time frame, then we would accept her claim. We take from this ayah that Allah creates the child. Parents are not the creators. Parents are no more than conduits. The creator is Allah. We also take from this ayah, from what is apparent, is that even the woman who is divorced for the 3rd time needs to wait 3 menstrual cycles. This is the majority opinion. The minority opinion is that for the 3rd divorce, she just needs to wait 1 menstrual cycle to make sure that the womb is clear and she's not pregnant. And that the 3 menstrual cycles is only for the raj'iyat, where you can take the wife back. And they say the evidence is in the ayah itself, وَبُعُولَتُهُنَّ أَحَقُّ بِرَدِّهِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ. The husbands have most right to take them back in this period. But we know in the 3rd divorce the husband cannot take her back. So in this matter both opinions have a good argument. But just to be on the safe side, there is nothing wrong with 3 menstrual cycles, even with the 3rd divorce. And it does not prolong the waiting period for too much. We may take the fiqhi point that even a raj'iyah is treated as a wife, because the ayah says وَبُعُولَتُهُنَّ, and their husbands. So even this woman who is divorced, this man is still her husband. The only difference is that he does not need to give her share of the time if he has more than 1 wife. We take from this ayah the condition for the man to take the wife back, which is islah. He needs to rectify any differences and grievances they may have had and get the marriage back on track. If that's the case, then he may take her back. Otherwise, he may not take her back. And the waiting period serves as a valuable opportunity for him to think about the situation and plan out his next move, and think about how he may implement the islah. We take from this ayah the vital lesson that both parties in the marriage contract have rights over each other. Yet despite this, the husband is in charge of the marriage, as in he is the authority in this marriage. And we also take the 2 names of Allah Jalla wa Ala, Aziz and Hakim. This often comes when Allah gives rules and regulations which He expects to be followed. These 2 names are not friendly names. They are names of threat. So Allah is Aziz, He is mighty, in that He is able to punish you if you step out of line. And He is Hakim, He is wise in His orders and prohibitions. And if He were to punish you, it would be in accordance with wisdom. Wallahu a'lam.